Charlie Kirk told us that when people stop talking, that's when you get violence.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assaults, the left. Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put it on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
During the lead up to the 2024 election, we had 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump by Democrat donors. Now we have this most recent act of Democrat-inspired terrorism against their critics with this heartbreaking murder of my longtime friend, Charlie Kirk.
Apparently there's been a shooting. I don't know who's been shot.
I knew Charlie Kirk quite well, known him since he was about 19 years old. He was a great person. Charlie Kirk spent his entire life trying to have a civil conversation with liberals and leftists. Here's what Charlie Kirk was about.
And now I'm
What
not.
does your hat say?
ICE.
What does that stand for?
Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. Hey, don't touch
What
it.
are you doing?
Gotta let her have her emotions, man. Just listen.
Have a nice day.
Listen, I'm not saying that she was right.
Let's have a conversation.
She was wrong for that. But you gotta show yourself.
Sorry,
love.
Charlie.
If you really love her, you let her go.
No, 100%, guys. I'm not gonna press.
You did good.
Thank you. See, I'm not gonna.
Because I would have been pissed off on the elbow.
No, that's not.
I got a question.
Sure. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
I don't think I told you. My name's Mercury.
Nice to meet you. Well, nice to re-meet you, I should say.
What do you hope to get out of this? Why are you here?
Okay, I've been asked that question a lot. First of all, that question should not even have to be asked, but when people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When church starts happening, they fall apart. When civilization stops talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. Whether it be the great genocide, the horrible genocides of the last 100 years, people stop talking with each other because they lose their humanity. I wish we could be here without having my hat thrown off and stuff, but what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
Even though Charlie Kirk was tall, he was 6 feet 5 inches tall, he never used his physical size to try to threaten or intimidate anyone. He just wanted to have conversations with all people. He was a devout Christian, had a beautiful wife, Erica, and 2 young girls. And he was most famous for his Prove Me Wrong events on college campuses where he would state his opinion on something. And then he would invite people from the audience, anyone from the audience, to step up to the microphone and prove him wrong. And they would have a discussion. Thousands of college students would attend Charlie's Prove Me Wrong discussions. He had enormous influence among young people.
That's a lot of people you tell me what. We're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable.
It was a beautiful afternoon on September 10th when Charlie Kirk was gunned down, was shot and killed in front of his young children, in front of his wife, and in front of thousands of young people. He was just 31 years old here. When the shot was fired and the crowd started to run, Charlie's little girl ran to her dad for protection, not knowing, of course, that he had been shot and was about to die. Charlie was shot in the neck from 200 yards away. He was shot and killed by this young man here, Tyler Robinson. Charlie Kirk was murdered for his opinions. No one should be killed for their opinions. No one should be attacked physically in any way for their opinions. Charlie was a conservative. Charlie was not radical by any means. He held conventional conservative opinions, no more conservative than Ronald Reagan. As I watched the killing of Charlie Kirk on TV, it didn't look real to me. It had a kind of a surreal quality to it. I'm not going to show you where the bullet struck his neck because YouTube will delete this video if I do that. If you haven't seen this video, you should go on over to X and watch it so that you can see what evil really is. It's absolutely horrible. Blood gushed out of his neck like a geyser, the bullet having hit a main artery. I'm still in a daze from this, still having trouble processing it. Part of me believes that this can't be real, but this actually did happen. Sadly, it is real. And now these two little girls don't have a father. The media keeps calling him a conservative commentator. No, he was much more than that. His organization Turning Point has an annual budget of about $100 million per year. Turning Point is a major organization with a presence on thousands of college campuses. Charlie Kirk is a big reason that Donald Trump in 2024 won 56% of the young male vote in the 2024 presidential election, young defined as age 18 to age 29. CNN started to see what was happening with the young vote, had started to see that the young vote was shifting dramatically in the direction of Donald Trump in May of 2024, before Biden had gotten out of the race.
Take a look here. Age 18 to 24. Biden won this group by 32 points last cycle over Donald Trump. Look at where the polling is now. Joe Biden still leads, but just by 7 points. That is a drop, John. Let's see if I can do this math. I believe it is a drop of 25 percentage points.
And that's why Charlie Kirk was killed. He was killed because he was highly effective. It's quite possible that Donald Trump would not have won a second term as president without the work of Charlie Kirk mobilizing America's young people. Charlie did not fully appreciate that if you're not in lockstep with the left on every position, they will kill you if they get the chance. Here's a short montage of video reactions from the left, from Democrat voters. This is pretty sick stuff.
Charlie Kirk. Nothing to do with
I would say pour one out for Kirky Boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
I haven't posted on TikTok in a long time, but I'm gonna now because rest in peace, Bozo.
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah, and I could not be happier. Praise fucking be.
I do not, and I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
Charlie Kirk got shot? That's awful. That's so sad. Hope he recovers well.
I just heard that someone shot Charlie Kirk? Dang it. Ah, shucks. Thoughts and prayers.
Yo, they got Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
Here we have someone named Skylar Pulowski, who is an after-school counselor at Adat Ariel in Los Angeles.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Oh no. Another one bites the dust.
Skylar has posted multiple videos on TikTok celebrating and laughing at Charlie Kirk's murder. She also says that Charlie Kirk isn't a human and therefore community guidelines don't apply. And meet Alyssa Gonzalez. She works for Geico as a customer service rep.
Breaking news! Master debater of college girls has been shot. Oh! Don't know what it's looking like, but that poor master debater, you know?
This woman is calling for the killing of Charlie Kirk's widow and their two little girls.
So I keep on seeing like posts about this Charlie dude, whatever, Kirk dude, whatever, regardless. And let me just say this. I'm surprised that y'all didn't get rid of him sooner. And I'm surprised that you guys aren't getting rid of more people. Like, don't stop with him. Don't let him be the end dog. Get rid of them all. And the ones that are above him. His wife deserves to go too. Y'all keep on talking about his wife and kids. They need to go too because they're carrying on that mentality and that lineage. Like, get rid of the whole family. I'm so sorry. Why did you guys stop with him? Why did you stop with him? Go get his grandma. Because who raised you? Like, your mom ought to be ashamed for breathing scum like you. Get rid of the whole family.
And there are millions of these video reactions by leftists cheering the murder of Charlie Kirk on X, TikTok, and Instagram, including videos by teachers, nurses, and even doctors. And yes, I do think that celebrating the death of a political figure is incitement to violence. It is an act of terrorism. Yes, it's after the fact, but this kind of celebration incites future violence against political figures and commentators with whom they disagree. I absolutely do believe in free speech, but we do have laws against incitement to violence and incitement to riot. And I do think celebrating the death of a nonviolent political figure or commentator is inciting future political violence and should be illegal. MSNBC justified the murder of Charlie Kirk this way.
But following up what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
Just disgusting. And here we have the Democrat governor of Minnesota and recent Democrat candidate for vice president of the United States, Tim Walz, wishing for the death of President Trump. This was when President Trump had not made a public appearance in a few days, and there was a rumor going around on the internet that President Trump had died.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news.
And the internet was filled with Democrats posting videos hoping for that. And here we have the Democrat leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, threatening violence against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you.
I interpret this as Senator Schumer calling on someone to kill Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Then on June 8, 2022, a 26-year-old from California named Nicholas Roski was arrested outside the home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh after trying to assassinate Kavanaugh. Roski had flown from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. the previous day. He was carrying a Glock 19 pistol, 2 magazines of ammunition, a tactical vest, a knife, a backpack, zip ties, pepper spray, and a hammer in his luggage. He took a taxi to the Kavanaugh residence, arriving around 1 a.m. His plan was to break into the home, tie up the Kavanaughs with these zip ties, kill the Kavanaugh family, and then kill himself. That was his plan. Fortunately, Kavanaugh's home was guarded by U.S. Marshals, so they arrested Roski when he arrived. Today's Democrat Party has become the party of terrorism. Stochastic terrorism for the most part. Stochastic terrorism describes the relentless demonization of someone or some group through mass media. This then increases the statistical probability that this will trigger some lunatic to kill that person, or trigger a group of people to riot and burn down cities, as we've seen with so many Democrat-inspired riots. Stochastic terrorism, rhetorical terrorism, is designed, its purpose is to trigger actual terrorism. It's right out of Hitler's playbook. First, he demonized the Jews for many years. Then he killed 6 million of them. This is what Democrats and the propaganda media have been doing to Donald Trump and his supporters for the past decade. The Democrat Party and the media have been telling us for the last 10 years that Donald Trump is Hitler. Might even be worse than Hitler. Here's a short montage here.
What would a second Donald Trump term look like?
He will unravel the institutions of our democracy.
Draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler.
Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini.
Makes Donald Trump even more dangerous.
And shoot visitors to the White House. Yeah. That means he can shoot the First Lady.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
Using martial law against the American people.
Terminate the Constitution, create mass internment camps.
Throw everyone into Gitmo.
You might have any number of things happen to you and your family.
Every one of us, our freedom, our liberty, none of us is safe.
It's going to have people around him executing against an enemy's list.
Assassinate generals.
Ordering troops to attack American citizens.
Trump's very well-armed and extremist base will try to kill people.
The end of democracy.
I think that could be the end of our democracy.
But democracy is dead if Trump is reelected.
Arrest political opponents.
Going to make the law. Everyone else will have to follow.
A vote for Donald Trump may mean the last election that you ever get to vote in.
He would never leave office?
There's no question.
Trump is reelected, he won't leave.
Donald Trump will never leave office voluntarily.
And what that means is that everybody who wants us to remain a republic has to put every other thing aside.
Well, he cannot be the next president.
President of the United States is racist.
All the people who voted for Donald Trump are racist.
Yes. He is a racist pig.
Reclaiming our heritage. That sounds a lot like a certain leader that killed members of my family and about 6 million other Jews in the 1940s.
Trump is as destructive a person in this century as Hitler, Stalin, and Mao were in the last century.
So Trump might even be worse than Hitler, they say. Well, if you're saying over and over again in relentless drumbeat fashion that the Republican candidate for president is the next Hitler, or might even be worse than Hitler, the only logical next step is to kill that person if you get a chance. I think most of us, if we go back in time, and if we had a chance to kill Hitler, knowing what we know now, most of us would take a shot at killing Hitler, thereby stopping World War II and saving 60 million lives. So when Democrat politicians and the propaganda media are telling millions of Americans over and over again that Donald Trump is like Hitler, or maybe even worse than Hitler, they're telling their listeners that if you get the chance, you should kill Donald Trump. They're, of course, too cowardly to do that themselves, but they hope that there's someone out there who will do it. Here we have Congressman Dan Goldman literally calling for the assassination of Donald Trump.
It is just unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
Most people would certainly interpret eliminate as meaning kill. That's what eliminate means. Then after all this rhetoric about Trump being like Hitler, or maybe even worse than Hitler, we actually had 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump in 2024 during the lead up to the 2024 election. A bullet took off part of Donald Trump's ear. I also firmly believe that the Biden regime purposefully gave Donald Trump, then candidate Trump, inferior Secret Service protection because they wanted to make it as easy as possible for a potential assassin to kill Donald Trump. I put this video out last year during the lead up to the 2024 election, but this video is just as relevant today. If one of these assassination attempts had succeeded against President Trump, I can only imagine the celebrations we would be seeing online from the left and from Democrat voters. We actually had Barack Obama's former FBI director, James Comey, literally call for the killing of President Trump with this post here. At least that's how most people interpreted this post. He posted an arrangement of seashells that formed the numbers 8647, which obviously is code for eliminate the 47th president of the United States, 8647. 86 means eliminate, 47 is President Trump, the 47th president of the United States. Comey should have been prosecuted for this, in my opinion, inciting people to kill the president of the United States. So inspiring lunatics to kill Republicans is a conscious strategy by today's Democrat Party. Here's how Democrats acted one day after Donald Trump was sworn in as president in 2017.
You all right, boss?
Police had to push back the protesters so firefighters could get to the flames.
Watch out! Hey, Beasley!
Small fires had appeared all day. This upped the temperature, which of course was the point.
One demonstrator threw a flashbang grenade back at police. It exploded in an officer's face.
Plenty of tear gas. 6 officers reportedly injured.
They will destroy your limo. You need to leave now.
AK-47, put the cops in piggy heaven.
Here's what Congresswoman Maxine Waters told this mob of people.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And it's not both sides that are doing this. 99% of the violence, 99% of the political violence is from the left. Just look at how the left reacted in the wake of the killing of George Floyd, riots everywhere, burning down of cities, compared to how conservatives and Republicans are behaving in the wake of the killing of Charlie Kirk. We see prayer vigils for Charlie Kirk, not riots. And here was Kamala Harris on the Stephen Colbert Show cheering on the riots.
And I want to make clear that I know that there are protests still happening in major cities across the United States.
That's right. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And they're not. This is a movement. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
And let's close by listening to this boy here.
Wait, don't scroll. Do you have 1 minute for God? We're in September with Matthew's day 10, and we're going to be going over chapter 10 in Matthew's. But before we get into chapter 10, I want to say sorry to Charlie Kirk's family for their loss, because Charlie was a good man. I used to watch his videos, and he used to just preach the gospel and tell the truth about Jesus Christ. And I'm so sorry for their loss. And I hope the Lord can protect them through the times that they're going through.